Apology.
He was just here.
Good evening and welcome to the December 1st Historic Preservation Commission meeting. First object is a call to order and roll call. Christy, can you do the roll, please?
Yes. Scott Allen.
Present.
George Piper.
Here.
Casey Sampson.
Present.
Nicole Wethington.
Here.
Here. And has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes? With that, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Motion and a second? Second. I think we have a second. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. All right, so it looks like our first new business is our certificate of appropriateness for 126 West Washington Street. And I see Derek making his way up to the front. So we'll hear from staff first and then we'll have you present. Sorry. Sorry to rush you, Derek.
That's all right.
Picked up, you were here, then you were gone.
I had a few technical issues to iron out, which it seems like is every meeting. Good evening, Commission. It's been a little while, so appreciate everyone showing up tonight. Tonight, we have one application, 126 West Washington Street. I'm sorry if you already have said that, but say it again just to make sure we're all clear. The applicant tonight is Four Finger LLC, which I like a nice four-finger pour. The applicant's name is Brad Clover. The Historic Preservation Commission has heard an application for this address previously on August 2nd of 2018 for a complete facade restoration application. That application was approved and the project was completed. The classification of the building is contributing. A building which is less than 50 years old and which is compatible with its historic surroundings, or a building which is over 40 years old and whose historic character remains, but does not rise to the level of notable or outstanding. Contributing structures may be listed on the National Register of Historic Places, but only as part of a designated historic district. This building is a part of our National Register Historic District. The action requested tonight for a certificate of appropriateness are door openings and a patio, specifically on the west side of the structure. The applicant is seeking approval to install two 10-foot garage door openings, not to be used for vehicles, and two 36-inch exterior doors. The garage doors are aluminum framed, black in color. These garage doors will be used as part of the proposed patio to be installed on the sidewalk adjacent to Lebanon Street. In the attached construction plans, the 36-inch door labeled 102D will also serve the proposed patio. This door is a full glass aluminum door. The aluminum is black in color. The second 36-inch door, labeled 103A, is a solid steel door that will be painted black in color and will only be used as a fire egress. All four openings are proposed on the west side of the building. During the good weather months, the garage doors are intended to be opened, connecting the indoor and outdoor spaces. The patio is to be constructed of wood and will be painted and stained black in color. Trim accents on the patio will be painted the same color as the brick of the building. Took place in 2018-2019. However, this does not change the fact that this building was rebuilt in the mid-1950s after a fire destroyed the original structure. We've talked about that from time to time, that age necessarily doesn't have the role in the designation of the building when it comes to the rating. The west-facing wall of this building currently does not have any openings. Adding openings to this building with a patio for outdoor seating adds character to an otherwise long, blank building face. If approved, these openings can easily be reversed in the future. Prior to painting the brick by the previous owner, the exposed brick was made of modern brick. In addition, was multiple styles of brick. If anyone remembers what that looked like prior. Sorry, I didn't include any pictures of that, but it was certainly a wide range of colors. The exterior walls of this building are not constructed in the same way as the older, more conventional historic buildings in our district. That's why I mentioned it can be reversed fairly easy. Some of the more traditional buildings that are surrounding the courthouse, the walls are actually structural walls. They're structural brick, and in many cases a foot thick. So it's a little bit different than modern construction where you have a wood frame building with just a brick facade. As I mentioned in the report, just that. This building is a wood frame structure with a modern conventional brick facade. Garage door openings have become an increasingly common way to bring the outdoor space inside. Openings of this nature can be found in many vibrant locations. Although this type of opening in the Lebanon Historic District is not found, staff believes this wall at this location should be considered by the Commission for approval. The black accents in this application are consistent with many of the features found around the courthouse square and is a color tone the Commission has previously expressed interest in seeing. The proposed patio location has been approved by the Crawfordsville NDOT office. In addition to the state approval, the applicant will be required to receive approval from the Lebanon Board of Works, which actually the applicant did that at the last Board of Works meeting, so they have approval from both entities. A minimum, 5 foot of unobstructed clearance between the structure and the curb will be required, and that's what was approved. Staff does not believe the proposed changes to the structure will have a negative impact on the building or the district. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the application. So let me show you a little bit of what's going on here. So if I can get this up on the screen, I will get to the page here that shows kind of the layout of the building. There we go. So the image you see there on the screen depicts the building layout on the inside, and you can see that the deck there is on the west-facing wall. So you can see kind of how it fits in relationship to the north-south elevation. The deck is 8 feet. Okay, wanted to make sure I was clear on that. And then let me just blow that up. And this kind of here shows what that elevation looks like with the garage door openings and the full glass door there on the south side of the patio. Back up in the first image I showed you, 103A, that is the fire egress door. So you can see that's relatively close to the front of the building. So that kind of gives you a little bit of the construction detail. Give you the patio example. This is what the applicant submitted as far as what a stained, painted black wood frame patio would look like. I'm going to guess that's somewhere in Florida, so based off of the moss coming off of the trees there. Yeah. Let's see here. The overhead garage door, these are cut sheets from the place that the applicant intends to buy the doors from. This is not necessarily a commercial application, but that gives you an idea of kind of what it would look like installed, although that is aluminum and not black. But and then for the most part, there's your steel door, which everybody's seen before. That'll be painted black. And then again, the cut sheet for the full glass door, which is again a very common door that you would see. One other picture that I thought I would show before handing it back over. I don't know if I've ever shown this picture before, but that is the rebuild of this location after it was destroyed by the fire. So you can see how it is more of a modern build than the surrounding structures. That's the purpose of showing you that tonight. So that's all I have. I'm happy to answer any questions, and the applicant is here as well to answer any questions that you might have for him.
Okay, Any questions for Derek or staff?
So what will the space be, Derek, from the patio to the street then? You said 5 feet is required?
5 feet, yep, 5 feet is the requirement. I mean, I don't want to get into the weeds too much about what that measurement means, but in terms of accessibility, as far as the ADA requirements go, 5 feet is basically the standard. You can squeeze that down to 3 feet, but you have to have passing zones every so many feet. So even in our sidewalk standards, when we rebuild sidewalks in the community, with the passing zones allowed, we just stick to 5 feet because it's just a better measurement. You know, you can squeeze that down, like I said, to 3 feet, but then you can't walk side by side with people. 5 feet alone, side by side is tight enough, but 5 feet is basically the city
Is that
standard.
about what the paths are on East Street? Is that about 5 feet, or how wide are those, the new walking paths?
So the new trail on Southeast Street, that's actually that's a 10-foot.
Okay.
Yeah. So our trail standards, this is way off topic, but trail standards are 10 feet when you start talking about urban trail section.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions for Derek?
I didn't see in the application, the glass in the garage doors, is it transparent or is it going to be painted black?
Transparent.
Transparent.
The cut sheet just shows it that way, I think, just for visual sake.
Okay, great.
All right, yeah, if the applicant would like to come forward and add anything else?
I think pretty much covered it pretty good, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I brought all the same stuff that he just showed you pretty much. I guess one thing on the, looking at it on the horizon, it's a little hard to tell how tall it is. That street slopes down, and so it's going to be only about a foot tall deck on the south side, and it goes up to maybe 1.5 feet on the north side. So not real tall, but yeah, that's. Are there any questions you guys have for me?
Will the rails on the side be wood as well then?
Yes.
Did you look at the black aluminum? I know that's what other buildings around town and the courthouse have. Have you thought of that? Like similar to what Chop House has in front of theirs?
For the railings?
Yes.
You know, honestly, I didn't notice that. I'd looked at clues, but it seemed more like framed in.
Yeah.
For like all weather, and that wasn't really exactly what we were going for. But yeah, we just figured matching the structure on the bottom with the railings.
I think it looks nice. I just was seeing what your thoughts were on wood versus aluminum over time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against it. I just kind of that's the design that kind of I pulled up online and said, oh, that'll work, and that's kind of what our architect had thought of as well. So,
Any other thoughts, questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not really to the application, but when are you looking to open, or what is your timetable on that?
Well, that date just keeps moving further and further back. We're still hopeful maybe March, but until we can really get rolling, as you get towards the end of the year, it's a lot harder to find people to start a project. January will be a little easier, so I'm going to say March, but it could be May. But yeah, we're working towards it.
All right, thank you.
It'll be restaurant, tasting room.
Right. Yeah, so we're a distillery. We're based out of originally Indianapolis, and then so we make our own spirits, and so we don't do food ourselves, so we are partnering with some local food people, and so we'll have food. It'll be all ages, and then in the evening it'll drop down to 21 and over, so that the grown-ups can have their fun, and yeah, it'll be a good spot.
Okay. Any other questions or comments for the applicant? With that, I will make a motion to approve the COA as submitted.
Second?
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda, we have a staff COA report, if any.
We do, if my document will download here from my device, but I think I can probably go off memory. I don't know why it's not downloading. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to remember addresses, but I'll tell you the staff COAs that were approved since our last meeting. So the limestone, the bottom section of limestone around the Key Bank building was heavily affected by salt over the years. There we go. 127 West Main Street, limestone replacement. That was approved as a general maintenance item. It was a like material for a like material. You know, to that point, you know, the question about aluminum versus wood on the patio, the applicant certainly probably needs to be aware that, you know, that when the state comes through, they heavily salt, you know, State Road 39. And it's something that didn't even cross my mind until we went through the Board of Works, and I haven't even mentioned it to the applicant, but actually I think wood is probably a better material because, you know, that any metal material of any sorts is going to be eaten up by that salt. So there's going to be a level of general maintenance after a winter time because of the salt spread by NDOT no matter what. So a little off topic there as far as staff COAs go, but 127 West Main Street limestone replacement, and then a handful of sign approvals. So 220 West Washington Street, which is the prosecutor's office. They are going to reface some of the signs, and they are adding one additional wall sign in the front location. That was an appropriate spot for that building. 114 South Meridian Street. There is a insurance company that has moved into that location, and there is a new wall sign at that spot in an appropriate location. And 101 East South Street, which is the Phillips 66 station, which is now a
Amoco?
Amoco? Yep, sorry, okay. So they rebranded the signage around there, the canopy, the pumps, and then the monument sign is getting a reface. So that
And I think that happened overnight, because all of a sudden, I just was like, where did this go?
Yeah. So, you know, that was a tough one. I was back and forth whether to bring that to the commission, whether not. But all the signage is appropriate for a gas station. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary. So, although it's, you know, a different color and a different brand, it still fit within appropriate spaces. So that's why I went ahead and approved that on a staff level.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, thank you, sir. Any other business coming before the commission? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn for the final time.
So moved?
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next year.